What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video. And, we're still riding that wave of optimism after our fantastic victory on Friday night over Crystal Palace. Been able to just chill, sit back, watch the rest of the Premier League games over the weekend, and knowing that we got our business done early on Friday. And listen, big game next weekend against Leicester. One thing that I think was clear to me in that game against Palace was, we needed to make changes during that game. And I genuinely think Arteta looked at that bench and didn't totally trust a lot of the players on that bench. Obviously, we still had no Tomiyasu, no Fabio Vieira, and no Emile Smith-Rowe. Those three, of course, would be good options off the bench or maybe even in the starting lineup. But for me, if Arsenal are going to have a successful season, we need at least two more signings, in my opinion, to come into this squad. Now, who can they be? It is believed, people, that Stan Kroenke has given the green light to Mikel Arteta to make one more trademark signing in this transfer window, somebody expensive. Now, it's believed that Arsenal want to get a deal done for French international Moussa Diaby. We've spoken about him before. Reports coming out that Arsenal are looking to get a £60 million deal done for the Bayer Leverkusen winger. Now, we've spoken about him a number of times. 23 years of age, can play left wing or right wing, 17 goals last season and 14 assists, 31 goal contribution. He's made his way into the French national team, and he's over there in Germany with Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen are not a team that just generally let players go on the cheap. They've sold players in the past for big money, the likes of Kai Havertz and players like Leon Bailey as well. Diaby still is contracted for another 2 years, so I don't think you'll be able to get him out of there on the cheap. But it is believed that there could be a possibility of getting him if we match that £60 million offer. Now, Newcastle made an offer of £45 million for him. Earlier in the window, it was rejected. Leverkusen are not keen on selling him, but it is believed that if Arsenal got around that £60 million mark, that Bayer Leverkusen would consider a move for him. Now, as I've always said, how highly do you rate Moussa Diaby? Some players come from the Bundesliga and rip the Premier League apart. Aubameyang, Gundogan, a number of players have come from there and done really well. But on the flip side, your Timo Werners and maybe even Havertz, who I still don't think has set it alight, have come here and not done as good. So how good is Moussa Diaby in your opinion? Would you pay £60 million for him? And how much does he improve us? And also, where does he get into this team? Does he play on the left? Then you drop Martinelli. Does he play on the right and you move Saka to the left? How do you fit him into this Arsenal team if you were to sign him? So let me know in the comments. Would you be happy with Moussa Diaby? But apparently the Kroenkes have given Arsenal the green light for one more marquee signing in this transfer window. Looks like we're heading for a little transfer battle, possibly, with Manchester United. We all know we've had a couple of battles with them this summer already regarding transfers. Now, it looks like there could be a tug of war for Leroy Sane. Now, Leroy Sane, we've spoken about on a number of occasions. We know all about him. Former Manchester City winger, fantastic player. And it looks as if Manchester United have inquired about him as well. Now, we've spoken before. Arsenal apparently have had him on a list of potential options. Mikel Arteta worked with him at Manchester City. Now, Leroy Sané is 26 years of age. He turns 27 in January. It's the World Cup year, and at the moment, he's not getting in the Bayern Munich team. They kicked off their season on Friday. They won 6-1, and Leroy Sané was on the bench. They went with Serge Gnabry and Sadio Mane as their two wingers. And at the moment, they look like the first choice options with Sané and Kingsley Coman as the backup players. Now, it's believed Bayern Munich are not keen on selling him. They invested a lot of money in him. He's a German international. They like him. But equally, there are reports that Leroy Sané is not happy as a backup player. You know, he left Manchester City when they started to use him off the bench. He doesn't want to sit on the bench in a World Cup year. It's believed Bayern Munich, again, an offer of around 50 to 60 million would at least tempt them to have a look at it if Leroy Sané push for the move. Now, once again, would you pay 60 million for Leroy Sané? I think 2 years ago, people would have paid more than that for him. He was that good. He's had this ACL injury at Manchester City. He hasn't set the world on fire at Bayern Munich. I've always been a big fan of Leroy Sané, I've got to be honest. I think he's a fantastic player because of the fact he's proven it in the Premier League and, you know, done it in the Champions League. I kind of lean more towards him than Diaby. It's just, is he the same player since having that knee injury? I don't know. Who would you rather sign out of Moussa Diaby or Leroy Sané? They're around the same price. Moussa Diaby 3 years younger. Leroy Sané, obviously Premier League proven. But Manchester United have apparently inquired about him. They've got a number of wingers. But it looks as if they're looking for another attacking player to help their front three. Arsenal apparently have him on a list of potential options. I have to admit, you know, Leroy Sané would be an exciting signing if he came to Arsenal. Different kind of player, a bit more direct. And yeah, it's just 60 million on the back of the knee injury and a lack of form. I would try and reduce that price a little bit, but we'll have to see. Leroy Sané, once again, being linked with a move to Arsenal. But it looks as if Manchester United are looking at him as well. Will he leave Bayern Munich? And would you pay £60 million for him, people? Let me know in the comments. Now, a player that has officially left Arsenal Football Club now, as this clear-out begins, is Lucas Torreira. He signed a 4-year deal at Galatasaray, €7 million, which equates to around £5.5 million, which isn't great business. €5 million up front with €2 million in add-ons, achievable add-ons. Lucas Torreira, been at Arsenal for a number of years, but let's be honest, never settled in England. He's had 2 loan spells, one at Atletico Madrid, one at Fiorentina. I think he was in 2 minds, apparently, from what I've read, whether to accept the move to Galatasaray. I think he was very keen on going to Italy. And it's interesting that apparently Arsenal turned down £7.5 million from Fiorentina, and he ends up leaving for £5.5 million. I think it was more at the cheek of Fiorentina that we were supposed to get 15 million and they only offered us 7.5, so they rejected it. But he ends up leaving for less. Personally, Lucas Torreira wasn't a bad player. First season he did well, but he just didn't seem to settle in England. I don't think he speaks the language fluently, and he always seemed to want to move back to Italy. He's ended up going to Galatasaray. He'll play in Turkey. And yeah, an opportunity for him to get first team football, really. And 75 grand a week cleared off the wage bill. I think at the moment, even though we're not getting big money for these players, the likes of Guendouzi, who obviously left, Leno, Torreira now, a couple players have gone out on loan, Patino and Balogun. I think it's more a case of clearing the wage bill. You know, Leno was on 100,000 a week, 50,000 a week. Guendouzi, 75,000 a week. Lucas Torreira and a couple more set to follow. So good luck to Lucas Torreira over there at Galatasaray. But I think it was best for all concerned that he left Arsenal this season. Who else is going to be leaving, people? Looks as if Pablo Mari could be on his way to Italy. Verona have made an offer for him. They're willing to take him on a permanent deal. Believe this deal could be as little as £3 million for Pablo Mari. Now, we paid about £7.5 million for him. Again, £70,000 a week Pablo Mari earns. Verona willing to take him on a permanent. And Arsenal looking to get a deal to get him out the door on a permanent basis. Apparently, Verona in talks with his agent. Whether they can afford to pay the full wage, I think, will be the other question. But it looks as if Pablo Mari could be on his way out. For me personally, never been totally convinced by him. And 3 million, again, doesn't look great on paper. But I think Arsenal are just going to have to take it and get him out of the door, people, and clear the wage bill in order to make space for new signings to come in. And also Hector Bellerin, the final one, people, believed Arsenal are still in talks with Real Betis. Looks as if this could be a termination of his contract. has a year left, £120,000 a week wages, which Betis can't afford. Arsenal look as if they're going to come to an agreement with him to allow him to go on a free transfer with a big sell-on clause in the future. Hector Bellerin looks as if he could be on his way out. So interesting today, people. Arsenal being linked with wingers. We still need a midfielder, in my opinion. As much as I thought Xhaka played all right against Palace, you still feel he's a ticking time bomb. And I just think we need better options. I still think we're a Thomas Partey injury away from having a midfield crisis. Fabrizio Romano confirmed on his podcast, Arsenal are preparing an offer for Yuri Tillemans. Daily Yuri, when is this offer going to be made, people? Hopefully sooner rather than later. Thank you very much for tuning in today, people. Don't forget, I will have a player ratings video out later today. Going to start doing a player ratings video separately rather than doing it in my reaction stream on a Monday. So look out for that. That'll be out later today. Enjoy your weekend, people. Enjoy watching the rest of the teams play. And I'll be back on Monday with a live stream. We'll go a bit more in detail over the game, press conference reaction, waffle settings, and look ahead to the game against Leicester. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.